Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief. I am your fill-in host, Daniel Lowry. Jerry is still on vacation. Hopefully he's enjoying that. Hopefully he's getting refreshed and recharged, reinvigorated, ready to tackle the cyber world as he makes his triumphant return next week. Because, yes, that is a thing, kids. Burnout is real. What about Israel? No, burnout is a real thing. Do not let this game grind you into the dust, because if you let it, it absolutely will do that. You got to take some time from time to time. I myself have even taken a little bit of time away from things like LinkedIn and stuff this last few weeks, trying to just step away, have a little breather. So hopefully you have as well, and we'll be ready for it, because now, guess what? It's 2026, baby. Here we are, brand new year, just started. I mean, we didn't have a show yesterday, but today's the second. It's close enough, right? I can still smell the first. So we're close enough. Thanks for joining me, everyone. See a lot of cool people in there. James McQuiggan in the house. What's up, Jimmy? Love to see you there, brother. Dennis Keefe, always a pleasure. Who else is in the house today? Larry Shervington Jr. Yeah. Was your dad unavailable? Yeah, just send his son. No, just have some good time. Space Tacos. Good to see you there. Marcus Kyler as well. Divine Dream Divine. Carrie Chase and Steve Young. Anvil 3589. Marlon J 122. A pleasure as always. Sabertooth Sam. That's a great name. Here I am with just my own stupid name. Doing my own stupid name things. But hey, great to see everyone today. Ad Tech in the house as well. Shathal. Yeah. Cheathall. I don't know. Anthony 7919. MPLN B8Z Bates. I don't know. Cool name though. Good to have everyone here. Justin Gold. I just saw you pop in there. Man, I could probably do this all stinking morning. And shout outs to everybody here today. Glad to have you. Let's run through the housekeeping as we do. If you are new to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, you know what to do. You get into the chat room and you just say, hey, how's it going, everyone? I'm new. So we can say hello and greet you properly. It's always a pleasure to have new folks around here. But for all the oldies and goldies out there, we're never sad that you are here. We are always happy to see you joining us. Let's see here. Today is, as I mentioned, Friday, January the 2nd. This is Daily Cyber Threat Brief number 1037. For those of you keeping score at home, you are now starting the new year. So you got to keep track of these things so that you can do what? You can get that half a CPE for every episode that you watch. So you got to track these things, get that half a CPE. So by the end of the year, you can pick up those CPE credits for whatever you need them for, like certifications and things of that nature. All right. So that said, let's get to Jerry reading them sponsors, doing that sponsored thing that he does oh so well, and get paid in bills just a little bit. And then we'll get to the CISO series and see what's on the plate for today's headlines.
Want to give some love to Fortify 365, the Microsoft 365 configuration solutions from Barricade Cyber Solutions. Barricade Cyber brings you all the knowledge in the incident response form, but they are also quite adept at helping you configure and set those protection controls for your M365 instance. Go to fortify365.com today to talk to Eric Taylor and the team over at Barricade Cyber, and make sure that you are taking full advantage of all the configurable security controls that you have in your M365 instance. Fortify365.com today. Also want to give some love and some shouts to Anti-Siphon Training. Holla, holla, holla at Anti-Siphon Training, the group that is disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by offering high-quality, cutting-edge education at a discounted rate for so many people out there. Their rates are insane. Some of their courses free or pay what you can. It's amazing. Go to antisyphontraining.com today. Check their upcoming live training, their on-demand training, government and military discounts. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. I love it. Maybe not government and military discounts. I made a mistake. They've just aligned their training to the NIST NICE framework. Also pretty awesome. Thank you, anti-training.com. And of course, as always, we've got Threat Locker kicking it. We'll hear from them and then back to the news. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, Threat Locker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with Threat Locker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust Threat Locker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. Threat Locker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how Threat Locker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com/dailycyber.
Well, thank you, Jerry, for those wonderful ads. And you good folks out there should avail yourself of those excellent resources. That said, it is time for us to get to the news. Let's get to it. Let's do this thing we do. First, I got to show you my screen so you can see these wonderful things. There we go. And now, Mr. Steve Prentice.
Announced the seizure of a ship suspected of damaging a subsea telecommunications cable in the Baltic Sea. This is after a series of faults were detected.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Friday, January 2nd, 2026. I'm Steve Prentice. New York City mayoral inauguration bans Flipper Zero and Raspberry Pi devices. As part of New York City's 2026 mayoral inauguration of Zoran Mandani, some new items have been added to the list of prohibited items, such as backpacks, weapons, and laser pens. As first reported by the tech blog site Adafruit, the event's official FAQ now includes Flipper Zero and Raspberry Pi devices. Quote, event organizers have not provided any details explaining why these were singled out specifically rather than a generic mention of portable technologies. Crypto must now...
Well, all right then. Going to the mayoral inauguration in New York, are you? Well, you better leave your Flipper Zero at home because they will not be very happy with you if they see you with that. And of course, a lot of different prohibited items that are going there. I mean, right, it's a security thing, right? And funny, right? These types of things tend to bring out the really interesting people in life. And if we don't do stuff to protect against it, then you just might as well say, hey, please, crazy people, show up here. So it says the list of prohibited items also includes large bags, backpacks, and duffel bags, weapons, fireworks, explosives, drones, other remote-controlled aerial devices, strollers. Don't bring your babies unless you're gonna carry them the whole time. Maybe get one of those like where you put the baby in, it's like a frontal backpack thing. I had one. What's it called? Baby Bjorn or something like that. No coolers, so you're not gonna be like tailgating at this event. I hope you like standing because chairs are out. I mean, okay, so that seems to be a bit of a. You can't bring a chair. Okay, fun. Blankets, umbrellas, but okay, now this is getting a little weird. Bicycles or scooters, alcoholic beverages. Yeah, you probably want to keep those bad boys at home when it comes to gatherings. Illegal I'm sorry. So, by definition, so they're saying they've banned these. This is on the banned list, like illegal substances. Right there. Illegal substances. Last time I checked, illegal substances are banned 24/7, 365. It's how that works. Oh my goodness, people are dumb. Pets other than service animals, laser pens, and bats or batons. Can I bring a cane? See? This is where Daniel's mind go. All right, you gonna tell me no? Samuel Clemens said the strongest word. I'm going Techneck. Here I am. Oh, Sammy Clemens said that strongest word in the English language, most powerful word in the English language is no. Right? I can see Billy over there right now fashioning all sorts of just ridiculous things that you ain't got it on your banned list. You gonna kick Billy out? I mean, you're probably gonna kick Billy out but is that gonna be before or after he makes a complete fool of himself? That's the question. As he walks through with his cane and nunchucks. I see nunchucks. I guess weapons are on there, right? Yeah. Okay, what is considered not a weapon, but is actually a weapon? You're right. This is where the mind goes. Welcome to Inside My Head, kids. Well, let's see here. So speaking of the Flipper Zero thing, because we got to get to the actual tech of this stuff. Flipper Zero is a handheld. Yeah, we know what it is. Does all sorts of fun wireless protocols and lets you have fun with said wireless protocols. It's commonly used for security researchers, developers, and hobbyists, protocol analysis, pen testing. I like how Raspberry Pi made it on this list. You can't bring a computer. My phone, that doesn't count. It's way more powerful than this Raspberry Pi is. Shut up. Single board computer. Yeah, we know it is capable of running standard Linux. I mean, I can put NetHunter on my phone. And I've got Kali and a whole bevy. Plus, there's radios on my phone. Anyway, you ever sit back and go, well, that seems like a stupid rule. Like, if you're going to ban flippers and Raspberry Zeros, are you banning the LilyGo thing? That's like, right? Are you banning Meshtastics? Are you banning, like, if I build something, what if it's, an Orange Pi? Is that banned? You specifically named Raspberry Pi. Are other single board computers on the ban list? Can I use an ESP32? Can I? You see what I'm saying? Like, sometimes they get a little stupid. This has been historically done, that it gets kind of dumb to name specific things. You need to generically ban things. Hey, no single board computers, no laptops, no this, no that. Okay, cool. Because you start going, hey, you can't have the flipper. Okay, no problem. Well, I built this thing on my own, and it's not a flipper. It's like a flipper. It does flipper stuff, but it's not a flipper. So it's not on the ban list, and you can't kick me out. You know what I mean? Anybody that has any modicum of common sense should have figured this out in about 5 seconds. Run this by a 13-year-old boy and see how, if you wanted to bring some of this stuff, what would you do? They are crafty at getting around the rules, right? So let's see here. Yes. They have add-on peripherals, making them amazing. It's fun. Oh, it was just, why don't you just advertise for for Flipper Zero at this point? Unlike most other items on the prohibited list, which are grouped into generic or general categories, both devices are specifically named rather than being restricted under a general computing. See, doesn't take a genius, kids. Drawn scrutiny from governments, which have raised concerns about the potential use in car theft, network breaches, and other forms of cybercrime. In some cases, this has led to proposal to restrict or ban the devices as well. Yes, but that's not what this article is about. It's about it being stupidly, specifically named on the no-fly list here at the mayoral inauguration in New York. Online retailers have also banned it. Yes, we know. That's the history of it. However, the ban of these devices from Event House caused confusion, as laptops and mobile phones are not listed among the prohibited items. You see? Oh, man. Techers is stop coming up with some Mission Impossible level thinking to social engineer the event. You got to, right? Like, is that not why we got into this game? Is because that's how we think? We're just going, well, hold on. Hold up, swolled up. You don't gonna tell me I can't bring my flipper and my natty ice and my master of puppets beer koozie to this event. I actually have a Master of Puppets bar stool sitting right over there. Let's see here. All right. So, yeah, that seems a little ridiculous. Modern laptops can run pen testing day. Yeah, exactly. Smartphones can run them as well. Oh, look, NetHunter. Flaming Donkeys, loving Daniel suggested on this topic. I mean, this isn't rocket science, kids. All right. Well, that was fun. These things get ridiculous from time to time. Yeah, we're good. All right, so let's move on to the next article. So don't bring your Flipper Zero and other, illegal substances to the New York mayoral inauguration. Moving on. Where we at? Here we go.
Now share account details with UK tax officials. As of yesterday, January the 1st, people buying cryptocurrency in the UK must now share their account details with the country's tax authorities or face penalties. This move, enacted by the UK's tax body HMRC, is, quote, designed to ensure they pay all relevant tax on buying and selling crypto, including capital gains tax. HMRC will begin automatically collecting information on all users of cryptocurrency exchanges, which are effectively the industry's banks, in a bid to start collecting tens of millions in unpaid tax.
Well, for you crypto folks out there, I think we've had a crypto article every day this week, except for Thursday, obviously, because we didn't do articles. But now, here's the thing. Government man ain't going to allow you to just walk away with money. You going to pay. You going to pay. Is it legalized theft? I don't know. But it is interesting. So you got that cryptocurrency in the UK. They're going to be like, so here's the thing. You've been circumventing our tax laws for quite some time now with your crypto, Mr. Funny Man, Mr. Funny Lady, Mr. Funny Lady. Anyway, that doesn't work. Here's the thing. You are going to start paying that money because we are going to make legislation that says that you have to share your account details or face penalties and changes those. So this is in effect now, as of today. So if you're in the UK, I'm looking at you, Roswell, UK. If you're out there, I don't know if you're here today. I didn't see you. Your tax body is designed to ensure that they pay all relevant tax on buying and selling crypto, including capital gains tax. They love it. God forbid you make a profit anywhere without Uncle Sam or whoever the UK equivalent of that is just putting their hand straight down your pocket and going, "This is mine. What are you doing with that? That's my money." But you didn't do anything there. I don't care. It's my money. You made a profit. How dare you? I mean, aren't you pulling taxes on all sorts of stuff already? God, please, sir, let me have my money. Don't take it all. It's just crypto. Yeah, they don't like that. HMRC will begin automatically collecting information. Crypto so effectively the industry's banks. Yeah, we heard that part. Thank you, Steve. Changes come as the financial watchdog continues its consultation on tougher regulation for the industry, including measures to stop insider trading. All right. The value of Bitcoin, which is often seen as a barometer for the entire industry, surged from $93,500 or 69,500 US or euros a coin at the start of 25 to nearly 124.5. So that's a good jump. It's about 30,000 if I'm doing the math correctly, which I'm probably not. Oh, but then it fell below 90 grand. Yeah, that is interesting. Like, I mean, I only make a profit if I sell it, right? Or at the end of tax time, like at what point? Because the price of it fluctuates so hard. If it dips below what I bought it for, then don't I show a loss? Like at what point are we taking the snapshot in time and going, here's whether or not you made money? That's what you need to know. I'm sure the tax law there is extremely easy to follow. There are countries out there that make taxes really easy. They just take all your money and then give you what they think you need. That's how it works. I'd seen a meme one time. It was proposing new taxes for 2026. How much did you make? And you fill that in. It says, send that to us. Oh, man. I hate taxes. Anyway, investors who bought when value was lower and sold when it was higher are in line to pay taxes. But authorities have historically struggled to collect it, says Dawn Register. HMRC has been concerned for some time about the high levels of noncompliance among crypto investors. The new rules coming. This is an interesting article, right? We do cybersecurity news, and this is about crypto. I mean, This is more of a tax article, and it's not even so much a crypto article. It's like, let's see here. Well, yeah. So get ready to pay your taxes if you got that crypto over in the UK. And honestly, that's really what it seems to be all about. Meanwhile, financial authority is running public consultations on February 12th on the proposed crypto rules, which include standards for crypto exchanges, new requirements to ensure brokers act responsibly, and news around crypto lending and borrowing. Interesting. Okay. So if you're into that crypto, this is something you definitely need to take a look at. It's not necessarily a cybersecurity issue as of yet. I'm sure there will be fraud that goes along with this as tax season rolls around. Looking forward to those W2s, right? It'll be a lot of fun, and all those 1099s and paying taxes. Yeah, it says that it will bring in at least 300 million in the next 5 years. Anyone who made crypto gains in the 2025 financial year may have to file a tax return before January 31st to get that done. Okay, well, you have been warned, my UK brethren and sisters. Let's move on.
End quote. Sabotage ship. Finnish authorities have announced the seizure of a ship suspected of damaging a subsea telecommunications cable in the Baltic Sea. This is after a series of faults were detected in undersea cables, and in this case, in part of a cable running through Estonia's exclusive economic zone. This was detected on December 31st. Estonia is a northern European country located directly across the Gulf of Finland from Helsinki. Quote, Finland's border guard found the ship with its anchor chain lowered into the sea, and so instructed the vessel to move to safe anchorage within Finland's territorial waters. End quote.
Okay. They seized the ship, suspected of, did they do it on purpose? Is that what they're saying? I didn't really listen to Steve on that one. I was kind of fiddling with things. But let's see here. Finnish authorities said Wednesday they had seized the ship, suspected of damaging a subsea telecommunication. Okay, well, I mean, the latest such incident amid concerns about Russian sabotage targeting critical infrastructure. Gotcha. So they think they did it on purpose. Follows a series of faults. Okay, so we're looking at this as like a physical attack. But because it is a telecommunications cable, that affects their ability to communicate with the rest of the world. And that impacts them, especially in wartime efforts. It follows a series of faults that have been detected in the undersea cables in recent days, some likely due to recent stormy weather, according to the Estonia Ministry of Justice, with 2 others currently being investigated. Says there was no impact on their services. Okay. But that doesn't mean that, just because I tried to kill you and didn't, doesn't mean I didn't break the law, right? You know what I'm saying? Okay. Explaining redundant connections, allow them to continue. So they've got redundancies. That's great. That's very relevant to just about anything, right? 2 is 1 and 1 is none kind of idea. You never want to just have one single point of failure, because if somebody runs over your cable with a big boat and you're sitting there going, we don't have any internet, it seems. This email is not sending. So yeah, there you go. Finnish border guard located a suspect ship after receiving a report from a telecommunications company, Elisa, in the early morning of New Year's Eve. Fault was found part of Elisa's cable running through Estonia's exclusive economic zone early this morning. All right. So this goes back to physical security, right? I wonder if they're going to ever try to do something like, because obviously this is becoming more and more a target of opportunity for the Russians, I guess. If we're just kind of generalizing here, I don't necessarily know whether or not that's true, but even if it's not, you would want to protect either way. Are they going to now create and build, now that the risk and probability is going up? Are we going to create new protections to keep those cables from being damaged easily, right? That would be a good idea. I don't know how they would do that. Obviously, I mean, just putting a cable on the bottom of the ocean seems pretty flipping phenomenal to me. But right now, they're just taking control of this vessel. I mean, how do you prove this, I guess? Did the boat actually hit it? Or did they drop something down there and, mess with it? Interesting. All right. Yeah, this comes after a year as a oil tanker that damaged multiple cables. Again, how are they doing it? Correct me if I'm wrong, but the cable is under the water pretty far. Are they floating tankers through waist high water? Or like, what the heck is happening here? How are they damaging it? And then how would you prove that that they were the ones that damaged it? Like, here we go. Oh no, it just says they were scrutinized. I thought they were going to say they were caused by, but they don't tell you how. Why do they do this? It's so annoying. This is the meat and potatoes of the story that I want. Is how the heck they did it. Okay, here we go. With the anchor. So how would you prove that they did? Every boat has an anchor. They need them. How do you prove that there was criminal intent? Let's say that they did do it. Let's say, oh yeah, we anchored down and all of a sudden it was like, what the heck is that? We thought we caught a rock or something. And I don't know, right? So how do you prove that they did this purposefully? Do they have maps that show them where these cables are? And then how would you prove that it was their anchor? Again, I would love to see how they do that. Yeah, those anchors are huge, Coco. God, yeah, everybody's saying to drag the anchors, drag the anchors. Divers, right? Again, but how do you prove this? How do you prove? Okay, so Michael Nolan is saying, raise the anchor and see how much damage there is to some power. Yeah, but how do you prove that it was the cable that made the damage, even if it is damaged? You know what I mean? There's a Jay Gold saying, really can't prove it was under malicious intent unless you capture communications prior to them leaving port. Right there. You would have to have some sort of smoking gun, catch them in the act kind of thing. Yeah, there are charts and maps. I would assume that is the case. But again, proving intent, difficult. Yes. Thank you, Space Tacos. Cool. Okay. Fun article. Well, let's get to the next one here before we hit that mid-roll. This one's from the Record. Let's do this.
2 more banks suffer Marquis software ransomware attack. Following up on a story we covered early in December, 2 more U.S. banks are now warning customers about fallout from an August ransomware attack on the financial software company Marquis Software. These 2 banks, Artisans Bank and Vera Bank, VERA-BANK, confirmed that the breaches resulted in access to customer communication data, such as informational updates and analysis of bank products and services that may best fit customer needs. Quote, both banks stressed the hackers never breached their own systems and only stole information maintained by Marquis Software, end quote.
All right, ransomware time. It is that time for us to talk about either ransomware or data breach. 2 more banks or malware. Don't forget malware. That's the trifecta of cybersecurity headlines. And they are typically a daily occurrence, right? 2 more banks notifying thousands of victims. Marquis Software. Ransomware attack. All right. Let's see. 2 U.S. banks. They've come forward to warn customers. Ooh. I just popped myself in the nose. That hurt. That really hurt. By an August ransomware attack on popular financial software company. Artisans Bank, Vera Bank. They say, oh, no, man. We had this whole horrible Marquis software cyber attack thing. Software company previously said it suffered a ransomware attack around August 14th that affected dozens. Customer. So why did it take them so long? Why did it take them so long to come forward about this? They just now realizing that they got popped? Vera Bank explained in a letter to the victims, Marquis Software is their customer communications and data analysis vendor. They had access to your data to communicate relevant and necessary updates with you, and also to analyze what bank products and services may best fit your needs. The Texas bank said, we only provided Marquis with access to your data after they had contractually agreed to secure and protect the same. In total, 37,318 people had information stolen, but the letters omit. You wonder if anybody's getting some free credit monitoring? Right? Take a drink if you're getting free credit monitoring today. Artisan Bank said it was notified of the incident by Marquis Software in October, discovered that the names and social security numbers of 32,344 people were leaked as a result of the cyber attack. Both banks stressed that hackers never breached their own systems and only stole information maintained by Marquis Software. Okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so I'm like, what does that sentence mean? So they're saying that the attack did not include those banks' servers or systems, just the information that was maintained by Marquis, because Marquis had access to certain information. Let's see here. Apparently, this was a really good time for whatever threat actor did this. I didn't see them mention it yet. But August was a very good month for them, apparently. Intrusion back to a vulnerability in it. Okay, an investigation traced the intrusion back to. So this is how they got into Marquis. They had a Sonic Wall firewall device, and there was a vulnerability that was not patched, assumedly. That would be my guess. That would be my guess. My guess. I'm speaking Parseltone. I am a nerd. Let's see. I actually have not read the Harry Potter books. I have watched the movies with my daughter. My daughter has read all the Harry Potter stuff. She loves it. That and Warrior Cats. Let's see here. And Wing Feather Saga. She's into that too. That's security access because date of birth. Okay, here's what they got. Information stolen included names, addresses, phone numbers, social security numbers, taxpayer identification numbers. Welcome to tax time, kids. The tax fraud will be a-flowing. Financial account information without security or access codes, and date of birth. So basically everything they need to financially ruin you. Between October 27th and November 25th, Marquis Software notified at least 74 banks, which means they really send it out to 3 because if I'm not mistaken, there's not that many actual banks out there that aren't owned by a larger bank. Filing its notices. So yeah, victim count is large and in charge. So you got to be doing your you see kind of the standard operating procedure here. A lot of threat actors like to come in through third parties, and that it's funny. I was just applauding yesterday the financial cybersecurity posture. Very, very much they do a very good job. And you'll notice that the banks were saying our servers didn't get busted. It was Marquis Software system that got busted. And because we do business with them, your accounts, that information which we shared with them has been made public to some, threat actors. So that's the problem. Your third parties might not be doing as good a job. So you have to be vetting them and holding their feet to the fire on cybersecurity just as much as you do yourself. And if they're not going to do a good job of that, maybe you want to find another third party, which is why it's good that there might be multiple vendors in that space so that you can go to. I remember when I worked at an insurance company, we had a specific piece of software that did, it was called Map. Was it Map Marker or Flare? I think it was Map Marker, which was a Pitney Bowes software. And I was like, and it sucked. At least at the time it did, in my opinion. And I was like, oh, can we look for a competitor? Because this stuff sucks. And they're like, they bought all the competitors. There is no competitor. They have a monopoly on this space, basically. I'm like, whatever. Right? So, yes, there were competitors, but none that could provide the level of service that we needed as a larger organization. So I'm like, what the heck? Right? That should not. Anyway. Rant. I'm ranting. Ranting. It's annoying. Cybersecurity firm obtains since deleted breach notification letter of Iowa-based communication first credit union. Yeah, okay. No ransomware gang ever took public credit for the attack. So we don't know exactly who did it, apparently. All right, time for that mid-roll. Let's do it. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Dun, dun. Hey, 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 hey. Ooh, whoa, whoa. All right, you're not getting a copyright strike on Daniel singing this song, but hey, don't you forget about me, though, right? Thank you to our sponsors from Old Jer Bear. He's got it going on. Let's see here. We've got, I'll start from the bottom today. Flare, Anti-Siphon, Delete Me, Threat Locker, and Barricade Cyber Solutions. Thank you so much for sponsoring today's episode. We appreciate the money you bucket into this place so that we can continue to have this show and help people out there get their CPEs, learn about cybersecurity, and all that fun stuff. Excellent work. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We really, really appreciate it. All right. That's it. Jazzy Jazz says, nice singing. You're a good liar. Well, or at least a liar, because that is not nice singing. And I also have, today is a fun day because we have James McQuiggan's Dad Joke Friday with James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. Last time I checked, he is in the chat. He might be lurking at this point, but he's there. He's listening. He's got us some dad jokes. All right, are we ready? Here we go. First one. I started building sailboats in my attic. The sails are going through the roof. Okay. But right. What is it called when a boat follows another too closely? Sailgating. That's really with the cybersecurity, because the tailgating, you see with the, see what you did there, James. I see what you did there. It's a good one. Yeah, there he is. I told you. I knew he was in lurk mode, but he was still there. And then finally we get, how did the pirate get his ship for so cheap? I actually like this one. It was on sale. That is funny. That is a funny one. I like that one a lot. Thank you, James McQuiggan, for your hilarity and your dad jokes for this Good Friday. All right, it's time to continue on with our articles. Back to the CISO series headlines, which is this one. And
huge thanks to our sponsor, ThreatLocker. Want real zero trust training? Zero Trust World 2026 delivers hands-on labs and workshops that show CISOs exactly how to implement and maintain zero trust in real environments. Join us March 4th through 6th in Orlando, plus a live CISO Series episode on March 6th. And get $200 off with the code ZTWCISO26 at ZTW.com. New air traffic service exploits ClickFix through fake browser glitches. Researchers at Hudson Rock are warning of this new platform that allows threat actors to, quote, automate ClickFix attacks by generating fake glitches on compromised websites to lure users into downloading payloads or following malicious instructions. The platform promises conversion rates as high as 60% and can determine the target system to deliver compatible payloads, end quote. The researchers describe air traffic, that is spelled ERRTRAFFIC, as requiring prior access either to a website that accepts victim traffic or where it has injected malicious code into a legitimate compromised website and then add air traffic to it via an HTML line.
okay, this is an interesting little hackaroo. You know, the threat actors out there, they get pretty crafty from time to time. So now they are, okay, so this is air traffic, which I'm not 100% sure about. Okay, this is a cybercrime tool called air traffic. This allows the threat actors to automate ClickFix, right? Which is the, hey, you've got yourself a little problem. You need to click here to fix it. Copy paste this and stick it in a run box, and then yeah, well, all sorts of great things happen. But this takes it another step, right? By creating fake glitches on compromised websites. This makes them think that oh yeah, this is legit. Look at the glitchiness. Look at all the crazy crap that's happening to this website. Obviously something's wrong. And I do need to get my hands on this fix. So I will download this payload and follow these malicious instructions. And that was not what was good for me. Dang you tricked me. And that's what happens. That's a problem. Platform promises a conversion rate as high as 60%. That's a lot. And can determine the target system to deliver compatible payloads. They're making some cool tools out there for nefarious purposes, but cool nonetheless. That's pretty impressive. ClickFix is a social engineering technique, yes, where we're tricked into executing dangerous commands on their systems under believable pretenses, such as fixing technical problems or validating their identity. This has grown in popularity since 2024. If you're doing SOC work right now, it's one of your favorite things in the whole wide world, I'm sure. Both cyber criminals and state-sponsored actors have adopted it because it just works, right? It's the Apple of cybercrime. It just works, right? You just tell people their stuff's broken and they will believe you. And they'll do anything to fix it because I can't, grandma's got to get on Facebook and, yell at clouds. It's a new cybercrime platform first promoted in Russian-speaking hacking forums earlier this month under the alias LenAI. LenAI. Lenai? Is it like a screened-in back porch? A Lenai? It functions as a self-hosted traffic distribution system that deploys ClickFix lures and is sold to customers for a one-time purchase of $800. For the low price of $800, you can steal a lot. Yeah. Well, I just saw someone said, where was it? There it is from Jost TX. The website was glitching. Now my computer's glitching too. Weird. Yeah, it is weird, isn't it? Oh man. I remember used to get like calls on the help desk and they would say, my computer is running slow. And I would have to go, your computer's running slow or the internet is running slow? Like you're on a web browser and you're trying to do web things, but everything else works just fine. That's the internet running slow versus your computer. Like if everything you do is like takes forever, that's a different story. You always had to clarify. Where are we at here? Hudson Rock researchers analyzed the platform report that it offers user-friendly panel that provides various configuration options at the time. And access to real-time campaign data. Yeah. If they could only use their powers for good, I'm guaranteed there's plenty of companies that would love to have these developers that are building this thing to like build dashboards and reporting tools and things of that nature for them, not ClickFix stuff. Okay, so the attacker must already be in control of a website that accepts victim traffic or has injected malicious code into a legitimate compromised website and then add the air traffic. Okay, here it is. Look at that. Little, yellow, different. ClickFix or air traffic. Site's behavior remains the same for regular visitors, do not match the targeting criteria, but when geolocation OS fingerprinting conditions are met, the page's DOM is modified to display a visual glitch. Yeah, we get it. This makes the page appear broken, creates a condition to provide a victim solution in the form of installing a browser update. Yeah, we kind of got all that. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah, look at your page, man. Dude, if I saw that, I'd be like, what in the actual heck is this? What is this, like a flash animation? I would just be annoyed and go away. Like, I'm sure it's supposed to look like a legitimate site. But yeah, there you go. That is an interesting thing though. So, that could be cool. Like take notes from this, build your own dashboards and tools because that seems to be a really good skill to have, either, not for cybercrime, obviously, but for just keeping track of things and doing stuff. You should be able to most of us should be able to vibe code some pretty interesting, useful little tools at this point. I'm just taking a page out of their book as far as like how they do operations, not cybercrime part. Don't leave that part out. Okay. Anything else we really need to get out of this? I mean, sold on the dark net, $800. Suck. Moving on.
Coupang to spend over $1 billion to compensate users. South Korea's leading e-commerce and logistics platform, often dubbed Korea's Amazon, has announced the amount, specifically the equivalent of $1.17 billion, to compensate almost 34 million people affected by its recent data breach. This compensation will be in the form of purchase vouchers for impacted users. Coupang plans to, quote, sequentially notify all 33.7 million account users via text message regarding the voucher redemption process, end quote.
So what was the thing that raised your eyebrow in that little quip from Mr. Steve Prentice? I am going to say that it is, for me, I mean, I get it, right? They got popped pretty big. I mean, that's a big chunk of change for compensation over so many users. I mean, what is the math on that? What is 33.7 million divided by, or I'm sorry, 1.17 billion divided by 33.7 million? Let's do the math. I'm going to do it. Here we go. No, where's my calculator? Calculator. How much is everybody getting? Like equally, if it's equally distributed. So, goodness gracious, how do you do 1.17 billion? So that's 1,017 million, right? Oh my goodness. I don't do math very well. Let me just ask ChatGPT. I'm bad at math. What is 1.17 billion divided by 33.7 million? Okay, there we go. And the answer is, survey says, since 1 billion equals 1,000. Okay, I don't care. Just give me the answer. Approximately $34.72. Everybody's getting $34, which you get to spend at Coupang. You're not even allowed to leave the platform. You get to spend it here. Well, oh man, there's a lot of things I want to say right now, which is completely inappropriate. But hey, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Yay, a free lunch, right? Yes, thank you, Sunshine 24/7/7. Exactly. That is such a crazy, like $35. This is the real takeaway from here, is that if you're using Coupang and they get popped, you might as well just pucker up and aim for the hairy spot. Because that's what they've basically told you. You can kiss our sweetness. Yeah, lots of money. They had a data breach. They got popped. Annoying. And you get a hot $35. Now, for them, it's a big deal, right? Because that's 1 point something billion bucks. I mean, but if they are Korea's, I mean, I don't know how much money they make a year. So how badly that impacts them and their bottom line. But I would venture a guess that no one wants to pay $1.17 billion out at all. But then hold up. Now that my brain is working, they're going to give you, let's play the scenario. You ready? Okay. I'm Coupang. You're the Coupang user, right? You're the member. We got breached. My bad, yo. Here's $35 you can only spend here. So where does that money go? Back to me. You see what they do there? Isn't that funny? Isn't that nice? Isn't that awesome? So that's interesting. Just saying. Just saying. I got to move on from this. This is just starting to piss me off. Moving on, moving on. More Korea stuff. Okay. Hit me.
Korean telco failed at femtocell security, say investigators. South Korea's Ministry of Science and ICT found that Korea Telecom deployed thousands of poorly secured femtocells, enabling long-running attacks involving micropayments, fraud, and customer surveillance. Femtocells are customer premises equipment which include a small mobile base station and use a wired broadband service for backhaul into a carrier's network. Carriers typically deploy them in areas where mobile network signals are weak to improve coverage in and around customers' homes, end quote. In this situation, all devices used the same network authentication certificate, had no root password, stored keys in plain text, and exposed remote SSH access. Attackers could extract the certificate, clone femtocells, and have them accepted as legitimate by Korea Telecom's network for up to 10 years. Investigators believe up to 20 clones were used, one for 10 months during 2024-2025. Compromised devices allowed attackers to intercept texts, learn subscriber IDs, and track calls, all of which was compounded by Korea Telecom's lacking proper femtocell management tools. This according to the Register.
This is an interesting article. This is I mean, it's not something you see every day talking about femtocells. So for those of you, again, this was a great rundown of what a femtocell is. They're customer premises equipment, which include a small mobile base station and use a wired broadband service for backhaul into the carrier's network. Carriers typically deploy them in areas where mobile network signals are weak to improve coverage and in and around customers' homes. So you live in an area you don't get great coverage, these femtocells can be used to help boost that by backhauling on into a carrier's network from a broadband service. So, what was the problem here? What was the security issue? Right? So it said that they have found that the local carrier Korea Telecom deployed thousands of badly secured femtocells. So it's a device, and as we just read, it's connected to a carrier, or not a carrier, a broadband service. And this led to an attack that enabled micropayment fraud and snooping on customers' communications, maybe for years, because they just said, YOLO, you get a femtocell, you get a femtocell, you get a femtocell, and everybody gets a femtocell. But that did not work out so well because they deployed thousands of the devices, all which used the same certificate to authenticate to the carrier's network. According to analysis by Korean InfoSec Academy and IEEE fellow Youngdae Kim, the femtocells had no root password. That means you just logged in as root. Sweet. Stored keys in plain text. Sweet. They are breaking all the rules here and were remotely accessible because dun 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 SSH was enabled. Not SSH. Yes, SSH, you dumb son of a right. So I don't understand. Were they hit in the head? Is that what happened? And is Billy running the Korean telecoms? Is that what happened? Because I saw that boy get kicked by a horse. And now he does it for fun. You can literally just whack him about the head and shoulders with a 2x4. He don't feel it at all. His skull is about that thick, I'm assuming. Ain't much in there to protect anyway. And now it's built up a nice calloused layer around it. So he was all like, you know what I need to do? We need to put ourselves some SSH on these femtocells. Put it out there in the networks, thousands of them. Root password, that's for sissies. What in the actual heck? The trucking cyber guy says, they do know who their neighbors are, right? Yeah, exactly. They ain't going to see it. It's fine. My Mimo says hers works like a charm, though. She gets that cellular like it's not even funny. She's enjoying it. And then the other people that are enjoying watching her do it. Attackers can therefore waltz in and retrieve the certificate, then use it to clone a femtocell that KT would treat as a legitimate device. What is wrong with you? Because that cert was set to expire after 10 years, miscreants who understood these vulnerabilities had a long period in which to clone the femtocell and use it for evil. Yeah. I mean, that's the... Ooh, we have clues. How did they find it? Investigate it, right? How did they figure this out? It's always good. The report also found that KT customers' devices would automatically connect to... Attackers cloned up to 20 femtocells and used one for 10 months. All right, so how did they bust it? How did they figure this out? Korean Telecom operates a micropayment service that allows its customers to pay for digital content using SMS messages. September, the carrier investigated some of its customers' bills and detected the use of cloned femtocells. Follow the money, right? Follow the money. What the heck is this? What are these charges? What's going on here? They said that $169,000 haul is absurdly small for this infrastructure sophistication. Maybe that wasn't the end game. It was just a byproduct. Having complete access into a cellular telco seems like a pretty good thing for an attacker, right? If you're, it's small if your goal was to make money, right? And if it's been out there for years and that's all the money they made, right? Or is that all the money you've just discovered? Anyway, we got a few minutes left. Let's hit this last article and get to it because we got jawjacking coming up. Let's hit it.
UK company sends factory with 1800-degree furnace into space. Space Forge, a company based in Cardiff in Wales, has sent a factory the size of a microwave oven into orbit and has, quote, demonstrated that its furnace can be switched on and reach temperatures of around 1800 degrees Fahrenheit. The company plans to manufacture material for semiconductors for use in electronics, communications infrastructure, computing, and transport. The company explains, quote, conditions in space are ideal for making semiconductors which have the atoms that they're made of arranged in a highly ordered 3D structure. When they are being manufactured in a weightless environment, these atoms line up absolutely perfectly. The vacuum of space also means that contaminants can't sneak in, and the purer and more ordered that a semiconductor is, the better it works, end quote.
Well, okay, that's just kind of cool tech right there. It's not necessarily a cybersecurity thing. It's just cool tech. And the fact they're making microwave-sized like factories that get up to 1800 degrees or whatever, that's just cool. This is a cool story to end the day on. I mean, who doesn't want to build something neat in their garage, right? I mean, not that this is a garage necessarily, but it is a company that makes this kind of stuff. But how do you build something that actually gets to go into space? I remember because I got to hang out with Tim Fowler quite a bit. He was all about space hacking and making satellites and cool stuff like that. That might be something really interesting, just as a hobby for a lot of us to get into. Kind of keep the passion alive. Something interesting to mess around with. Very cool stuff. And it's cool that this company is making this a reality. So if this works, I assume that this is kind of like step one, get a minimum viable product, make sure that everything actually works, that we can perform this action. We can make these more amazing semiconductors because we can do it in space, right? It says right here, semiconductors in space will be up to 4,000 times purer. And I'm guessing that is find the truth is only costs 4,000 times more expensive. Man, there's the old kicker, right? The other shoe has hit the floor at this point. Yeah, more stuff in orbit, says Phil Stafford. Why not, right? We are working our way toward Wall-E, and you act like this is a bad thing. Conditions in space are ideal for making semiconductors, right? Because it affects the way atoms are structured, I guess. Very cool. Those atoms line up absolutely perfectly. What we're doing now is allowing to create semiconductors 4,000 times. Okay, we got that. You're repeating yourself. Don't start that action. This sort of semiconductor would go on to be in the 5G tower in which you get your mobile phone signal. It's going to be in the car charger you plug your EV into. It's going to be in the latest planes. I mean, that's cool. I mean, we're not going to be able to make that stuff for very much longer because they're not cranking out RAM for anything other than AI. So, what good does it do me? It's going to be so expensive I can't afford it. Plane tickets, $9,000. The company's mini factory launched a SpaceX rocket in the summer. Since then, the team has been testing. I mean, I always think of that movie Antitrust when it comes to space stuff, where he had his own satellite system. The bad guy, Tim Robbins played, and he had a little like dashboard. He controlled the whole thing. I mean, that would be stinking cool. Could I build something that orbits the Earth? I would assume the FCC would, not the FCC, the FAA. Yeah, the FAA would probably not like that. For me to launch a weather balloon high enough to get a satellite into orbit that I could control from my laptop. But hey, whatever. Cool stuff. It is exciting. I hope they do well. I hope they make it super cheap. Hope everything gets cheaper. I'm trying to see if there's anything but by providing technology, it really opens the door for an economically viable product where things can be made in space, return to Earth, and have use and benefit to everyone on Earth. And that's really exciting. Well, good. I look forward to seeing more about this in the future. And hopefully it goes really, really well. All right, everyone. That does it for, let me stop sharing. That does it for the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. Thank you so much for joining us. But don't go anywhere. Up next is Jawjacking, a little AMA for your day. You get to ask me questions, and anybody else that join. I've sent a couple of requests for a panel to show up. I haven't heard back. Let me check that real quick. Nothing. Cool. But there you go. That's cool. It can just be me. We've done it all week. We'll do it again. We'll get that AMA going momentarily. Thanks for watching the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. Now stay tuned for Jawjacking.
Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking.
And welcome back. It's me again. It's just me, but that's cool. Yeah, we're going to do Jawjacking. Jawjacking, for those of you that are new to what this is, it's just an AMA. You ask me questions, I give you answers. We kind of have a conversation going here in the chat, and it'll be a lot of fun. Speaking of the chat, I have twice in a row forgotten to do that so that all this stuff is here for us to see. So there you go. If you have a question, what you need to do is put a Q in front of your question so that I can kind of have it kind of pops out from the chit chat that's going on in the chat room. So if you want to grab my attention, I'm also watching the YouTube chat, so you can also @ my name. That'll work as well. I'll try to keep an eye on both of those things, but I'll mainly be in the restream chat looking at that. So the Qs will probably be the best. And from there, I answer your questions. We do our best anyway to get you some good information to help you succeed in your cyber journey. All right. With that said, let me see what I got here. I think I got a question here that was asked before I told you to put a Q in front of it. So that's cool. We got Tal462 says, what's your suggestion for mid-level cybersecurity engineers to climb up the enterprise ladder? And I mean, not the level, but specialty or speciality and principal engineering direction. I mean, okay, let's dissect this. So you're a mid-level cybersecurity engineer, or hypothetically, they want to climb up the enterprise ladder. I assume that's what you meant, ladder, not letter. As in, like, I'm going up, bing, 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 climbing up. And I mean, not the level, but speciality and principal engineering direction. So you want to become like a senior engineer? That's what you're looking to do? You specialize in something. Yeah. You got to pick something, and something that's most likely really difficult, like exploit research and development, 0-day kind of stuff. Depending on your niche and depending on what kind of security engineer you are. So if you're like a firewall engineer, maybe you're, that kind of stuff, or a SOC engineer, it's going to be different than if you're working in offensive security. So yeah. So that will just depend on that. I would probably, in any of those cases, going to tell you it's going to be a combination of getting really good at AI stuff at this point in time, because that's a non-starter if you don't have the AI capabilities to get at the senior level. That's probably your best bet, regardless of whatever niche of cyber you're in, is to straight up get some of that AI schooling. So learn AI in whatever niche you're looking to get into, and then learn it up to a very high level. And then you are a senior at that point. You start asking for to be brought in on those projects, more responsibility. You talk to your manager and say, I'm looking to level up and become a senior level, right? And what kind of path can we develop for me so that I can reach senior level here? Yeah. There you go. That's what I got so far. What else we got here today? Here we go. From Cryptic Roses. Any tech-related New Year's resolutions? Mine's to get some Azure certs. Yeah. I've talked about mine a little bit, but I'll go ahead and reiterate. For me, it's all about that hardware life and firmware, IoT, probably a little OT, that kind of stuff. So that's what's on Danny Boy's plate. That's what I'm looking to get into. Here's one from Space Tacos. Can you share the worst Carl, or in your case, maybe it'd be a Billy story? The worst Billy story? I mean, it probably what? I'm trying to think here. Give me a second. I mean, because they were idiots or because they were a-holes? Because those are two different things, but both Billy. I'll say an idiot, right? The first, I think this is probably just the craziest one that I personally experienced, was that somebody call me and say, I can't read the files on my thumb drive. I said, okay. Remote PC'd into their computer. I think we were using VNC. So I VNC'd into the device. I'm looking in the Windows Explorer, and I'm like, I don't even see the drive. It's like the drive's not connecting. So I'm in Device Manager. I'm doing all this stuff, and I'm going, can you just verify that it's seated well into the USB slot? And it was a lady, and she said, you mean you have to plug it in? I said, well, yes, ma'am. Most electronic devices require electricity to work, and it's not a wireless device. So yeah, you got to plug it in. I've been working on it for like 20 minutes. And because she had swore to me, she had that was how she started it off. Is the way she framed it was, it seemed like, and maybe that was a dummy move on my part, that I should have started with layer 0, right? Layer, and then layer 1. Like, assume that they are not telling you the truth, which leads you to layer 1, which is make sure all the things are plugged in correctly. But the way she framed it was like, it seemed like she was telling me it was plugged in. And you just, a lot of times when a user calls you, they're just missing the forest for the trees. It's like, oh, it's right here. Click, bam, no big deal. But that can get you down the wrong road yourself. So we spent about 20 minutes in, but she didn't realize, she had no idea that they actually had to plug it in to be able to read it. She thought you just had to plug it in to write things to it. So we had ourselves a little fun day figuring that out. The other one was my friend Bill. He was working on the old microcontrollers for the mainframe, and to update the thing, we'd have to send out these floppy disks, and they would have to plug it in and do this combination of things to get it to update. And he said he sent it out there to the county office, and the county office was saying, I can't plug in the floppy disk. I'm trying to plug it in and it won't go in. And he said, I spent so much time trying to figure out why it wouldn't insert into the floppy drive of that controller, and finally realized that what the user was doing was there was a door that you opened up on the controller, and that gave you access to the panel. On the inside flap of the door, right on as you flip the door around, there was a diagram, a photo diagram of the panel telling you what each one of those things were. They were legit trying to push the floppy disk into the photo. That's probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life. So, yeah, that's what's up. Never underestimate the power of your user. Cryptic Roses. How do you politely start conversations at an in-person cyber event when people are already deep in discussion without interrupting or coming across awkward and intrusive? Phenomenal question. Great. You get question of the day right there. And because I have given this advice multiple times, here's how you do it. You kind of like scooch into the circle and you're like, oh, I'm interested. I'm listening. And as you're listening, you start thinking of things that about whatever it is you're listening to that are interesting to you. And naturally, questions are going to come up in your mind. And when they do, you say, I'm listening to your real quickly. I'm listening to your conversation. It's very interesting. And then you ask your question, right? Or you can go another route. Same idea, same frame, but you know something about what they're talking about, and go, oh, I know exactly what you guys are talking about. And I've actually had some experience with this. I thought it was funny, or I thought it was interesting. And then you throw it out there. You don't take over the conversation. You just kind of like add to it. So in some way, shape, or form, either through questions and being engaging, you are now becoming a part of that conversation. Right. And you don't take it over. You don't try to take over the conversation. What you try to do is you try to contribute to the conversation in both of those ways by asking questions and giving your experiences and whatever it is you know about that stuff, right? If you don't know anything, you can just kind of chill and hang back, maybe ask a question or two. And then as the conversation starts to evolve and change and move from one topic to another, you continue to roll with it. And that's how you start going, oh, my name's so-and-so. I'm Cryptic Roses. It was really good to meet you. I love this conversation. You might have a seat. Maybe they're seated. You mind if I sit down? Not at all. Blah, 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 because you've proven yourself to be someone that is going to contribute. And it's cool if you don't want to. There's plenty of people I've seen plenty of times, been at plenty of cons where there's a prayer circle going on, and some people just kind of want to hang out on the edge there and listen. That's cool if you want to do that. But if you want to engage, you want to build your network, you want to make new friends and win hearts and minds, that's how if you want to politely start a conversation, that's an issue. I don't know why you would start a convo with a rando person at a con other than maybe they had a cool shirt on or whatever. You just find that point of contact and you're like, oh man, I love that shirt. That's so funny. Whatever it is. And my favorite shirt that I've seen other than that is blank. And you go, oh, look at my shirt. And, oh, I was at this con the other day, and you just start random conversation about the thing you're both interested in. Wow, I just saw some serious text hit the thing. LinkedIn user spammed the text there. Interesting. Okay. But that's how I would do it. That's how I would make that happen. All right, let's see here. Hopefully that helps. Let's move on, find some more questions. I like to try to keep my answers short here lately. What was the malware injection day? From Find the True. What was the malware injection day? Malware injection day? I don't know. I have no idea what that means. Okay. Find the True. Clarification. Thank you. More Cryptic Roses. Is it reasonable to expect graduate cyber candidates to know Windows XP 7 troubleshooting when it is not listed on jobs? No, it's not reasonable for them to know that. But features heavily in the assessment process. What? Is it reasonable to expect a graduate cybersecurity candidate to know Windows XP 7 troubleshooting when it is not listed in the job specification, but features heavily in the assessment process. No, that is not reasonable. That is not reasonable at all. Why, if that is something that they are going to heavily ask you about, it should be in the job description. It's just all there is to it. That's simple. Moving on. Looking for the questions. Oh, there's that LinkedIn user one. The White House, Congress, and federal agencies race to keep up with the rapidly evolving cybersecurity landscape. They're blah, 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 blah. Did someone paste an article? Yes, they did. Wants to know what's my take. I don't know. What? Okay, that's a bit much. Okay. I don't know. I don't have a take on that yet. I don't have the time to like sift through that much information and formulate a position that is thoughtful and thorough. Cryptic Roses. Cryptic Roses got some questions today. What is your view on TryHackMe's AI-focused training? I haven't taken it. And how valuable is it for cyber professionals, given the recent attention highlighted in Tyler Ramsby's LinkedIn posts? I've taken about 3 weeks off of LinkedIn, so I haven't really seen anything. What's my view on TryHackMe's? I mean, any AI-focused training is going to be a good thing for you at this point. You need to be learning AI as much as you possibly can. I can't stress it enough. People that know how to use AI are going to be the ones that are able to get jobs. Because it seems to be steadily just sweeping up anything that is repetitive or low-hanging fruit type tasks. I don't know what people that don't have the ability to upskill are going to do. Right? So there you go. So yeah, go crazy learning AI. You should absolutely, I mean, just spin up N8N or take Coursera courses, do anything you can. Mess around with like Olama, whatever you can do. Learn that stuff and learn it well. That's what's up. All right, moving on. From Carrie Jason, Daniel, how's the weather in Florida? I will be in the 80s today. So yesterday there was ice on everything. Today it was cool this morning. Like I'm a little chilly in my office. I don't have the heater on. I forgot to turn it on. But it'll get warm today. It's gonna warm up. It's gonna cool a bit back down. We don't really see much. Like we get these random spikes of like 30s. And then the same day it'll get to 80, right? A 50-degree swing in temperature. And then it'll get down to the upper 40s or something, and then high of 70 something. That's kind of how Florida goes. It's a legit question. I got you, LinkedIn user. It is a legit question. I just don't have time, or I can't tell you that I would be able to give you a good answer to that at this point in time. Hit me up on LinkedIn. Send me this question on LinkedIn. I'll take a look at it. I'll look at the details, formulate an actual informed opinion on it, and then we can talk more about it. So just let me know who you are. DM me in LinkedIn. Let's see here. Jazzy Jazz 88. Which cloud do you recommend a beginner to pursue? Azure, Amazon, or Google? It depends, right? It depends on what you want to do in your career. If you are like, I'm going to be a cloud admin for a Microsoft shop and that kind of thing, we're going to be running Microsoft 365. Obviously, Azure is where you want to start. That's just what's up. Learning all the cybersecurity stuff that they have available and things of that nature. So, yeah, if you are going to be running internet services and things of that nature, you're probably looking at AWS, right? Not that there won't be Windows servers or whatever, but Windows people tend to, because they want you on Entra ID, they want you on Microsoft 365, everything in Microsoft kind of pushes toward Azure at this point. So where do you want to go? And GCP, I've never really used it, so I can't really speak to it. It's got its place, I'm sure, but Azure and Amazon are two big dogs. Let's see what else we got. What else do we got? From Katie Jordan, 9411. I just graduated with my bachelor's in cyber, trying to break into the field. Congratulations, Katie Jordan. I am on TryHackMe daily and keeping up with my IT studies. I have my CompTIA certs through WGU. Would Cloud Plus be a good cert to add? If you want to go into cloud, or if you just want to have some competency in cloud, it's a good foundational cert, covers a lot of bases, but I feel like from what you're showing already, I feel like you should just go ahead and start going vendor, kind of to the point of the last person that was asking about AWS or Azure and so on and so forth. And maybe for you, and like getting a few AWS certifications would be better than just Cloud Plus. That's my opinion. I mean, that's from what I gather from just a little bit you've told me, and that's cool. But yeah, maybe start getting into vendor certifications, and maybe get across the board. Get just the basic cloud certs for each of the 3 big vendors out there. Could be another good way to go, right? Jojo Rabbit says AI is my jam now. Yeah, it is. Phil Stafford talking about Tyler's point is that TryHackMe is now using users for AI training, and looks like gotcha. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, he has talked about that. I have seen him talk about that. I have talked to him about talking about that. A lot of people aren't very happy with that. I like the ability to opt out of those types of things, and I think TryHackMe is like saying if you want to opt out, you just close your TryHackMe account, which is a valid concern, right? It's like okay, and I'm guessing a lot of people have done that. But if you're talking about using TryHackMe to learn AI while they train their AI on how you learn, you know what I mean? That inception kind of idea is yeah, it's a real pickle. They're not the only game in town. You just go somewhere else and learn it. What's is it Arkham, which is Arcanum? I think that's them. That is Jason Haddock's. They got stuff. Just go to Udemy, go to other places. You know what I mean? They're not the only game in town, is the point. Or if you like what they're doing and you don't mind training their AI, stay on TryHackMe. It's up to you. That's a personal decision you got to make. All right, let's see here. Looking for the questions. Here's one from Space Tacos. What's up, Space Tacos? We know you've platformed the guitar, but are you also write songs? If yes, ever written a song about hacking? I have written songs before. I say songs, not lyrics. I've written music that became songs that somebody else put lyrics to. But I don't do that often. I've never really been a big songwriter or music writer. Every now and then I'll come up with something cool. I have a few of them in my back pocket. But yeah, there you go. Looking for those questions. Making sure I didn't miss anything. Oh yeah, I'm almost caught up with you guys, which is perfect because we're almost out of time. Looks like I got a question here from Michael Nolan. I'm about to take my EC Council CEH exam. Best of luck to you on that. Seeing now what people think about the cert, was it a bad idea? I mean, if you're already there, it's not a bad idea necessarily. So EC Council has had, and specifically the CEH exam, and EC Council as an organization has had a interesting past. Okay. And you can just do some Google searching and look into that. The certification itself has its pros and cons, just like any certification. There are people that value it and people that don't. and people that, and a spectrum in the middle of people that find it more or less valuable. You get what I'm saying? So if you get it, it won't be without value completely. You will find organizations that put on their job posts CEH, and they find it valuable, a useful thing. So if you're already down the road, yeah, it's not going to be a bad idea. This would be the question to ask before you put the money on the barrelhead. But a lot of people get this kind of thing through their work or whatever. And if they just offered it to you and they say, hey, we'll pay for a CEH, like, cool, take it. Never turn down a free education. Never. Right? So at this point, it's not a bad idea. The good idea would be to see it through, take the exam, get the cert. You've already spent the time and effort into it. Might as well see it through. All right. We got 4 minutes left. Brews and hacks. I still see CEH. Yep. Yeah. LinkedIn user vendor certs are way better. Yeah. Vendor certs tend to, because you are niching into something very specific, but if it's something like Amazon or Palo Alto or things of that nature, there's such a big name in the industry that it tends to, well, if you can learn that, you can learn anything. Yeah. If we're an Azure shop and you have AWS certs, they're not going to go, well, I'm sorry, if somebody comes in and they already have those Azure certs, then yes, you're probably behind at that point. But you're most likely going to be focusing your efforts on the jobs that are focusing on the skills you already have. So do some research, figure out, are there more job openings for AWS or this vendor or that vendor? Kind of do some analysis, use AI to help you. And then, pick your poison, as it were. All right, Trucking Cyber Guy asks, any opinion on the AAISM cert that ISACA has put out there? It seems a bit shallow, but requires CISSP to qualify. So seems they are trying to position as an advanced cert. I am not familiar with this certification. Let me do this and that and that. And the ISCA, I can never spell ISACA, and it is the AAISM. What is this? This is the ISACA Advanced in AI Security Management Certification, the first and only AI-centric security management certification designed to equip experienced IT security professionals with the skills to manage the evolving risks associated with artificial intelligence in enterprise environments. It is intended for those who already hold the CISM or CISSP, as builds upon that foundational knowledge. Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily a money grab or not. I don't know how new this is. I assume it's fairly new. So until more people are coming out and read Reddit reviews, right? So if anybody has had experience with this, please in the chat room, throw down, let us know. And what's your take on that? All right, moving on. Space Tacos, not platform, play the guitar. Stupid autocorrect. Dang you, autocorrect. All right, we got time for one more. All right, we'll end with this one. Thank you so much. Cryptic Roses, you were a plethora of great questions today. This one is right in line with that. Are there any common mistakes, pitfalls, or career moves that you would advise people to avoid based on things that slowed your own progress in cybersecurity roles? Yeah. The first one is having too many irons in the fire, right? Oh, we are multitaskers. Piss on that. Put your nose to the grindstone on something, see it through to the end, and then move on to the next thing. Do it well, because What ends up happening a lot of times is you start a lot of projects and you never finish them. So you end up learning a little bit about a lot of it, but not enough to be effective, and that hurts you. Another thing is you are going to need some certs, and choose wisely when it comes to those certs on whatever it is that you want to do in cybersecurity. Go after the ones that are the most well known and get them. Network. My goodness. Go to cons. Do it early. Do it often. Because those people are going to be your cheerleaders for when you're ready to hit the job market. Learn a bit of coding. Yeah. There you go. That's the quick and dirty of it. Hopefully that helps you out. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. A lot of great stuff. Space Tacos thinks there should be more cybersecurity songs in the world. Cryptic Rose, you got a lot of great questions. Definitely come back next week for more jawjacking. And then you can get Jerry's take on some of these questions. You should keep asking those questions that we didn't get to today, because those were great questions. You had a lot of good stuff. I'm just kind of scrolling through, catching up with chat. Happy New Year, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate your time, your efforts, and hanging out. I'm going to get that off the screen, and we will hit the whole hide message thing. But it's time to say goodbye to all our family. I'm going to go get ready for Cybercast IRL, which is at 10 a.m. Eastern. We can continue this conversation. So Cryptic Roses, if you want to join us over there, you totally can. That will be on my YouTube channel. So just go to YouTube, look up Daniel Lowry. You'll see that. Cybercast IRL is going to be at 10 a.m. So we'll be doing that in about 30 minutes or so. Until then, and until next time, stay secure.